This is an observation of Angelica Johnson at her place of work. Let's see if I can get Angelica on the screen so that everyone can see what she looks like, the young lady. Yes, I'm taking an observation of Angelica at her desk, and she's carrying out her normal work duties. Angelica works for the IBC Bank. Can you tell us what time it is, Angelica?
It is 11:11 a.m.
Okay, and basically we've just had a quick look at Angelica's assessment plan, and Angelica was working on some work on the screen. The files on that screen are confidential, so Angelica's going to talk me through, and I'm going to put the iPad on the table so she can talk me through the types of work that she's been doing, and we'll have a look at these files. Okay.
So at the moment we was updating one of our trackers. So this is a tracker, it's basically all of our open roles that we have on the recruitment team and whether they're filled. We used to have an old spreadsheet that we was using, but we were having issues with people. You couldn't go into it at the same time, you couldn't edit at the same time. So one of the gentlemen in Reward, he's changed it over to an online system. So we're just making updates to get fields that filter across. So if we have a cost centre for something, we can just enter the cost centre, and then he set up a system that it automatically fills in the location and the department for us. And as it was month end yesterday, this report is used for a finance report for the HR services team, so it's just key to update it today to make sure that all the information is relevant and up to date so that it can be used for Liz's report from HR.
Okay. So do you get any timelines of that when you need to do things, or is it just a daily?
We have. So for some reports we have.
Right, Angelica's now
roles.
Just showing me the front of her diary, which is quite busy.
So the open roles, we have it penciled in for what date it needs to be sent over.
Okay.
And then obviously I put in a few myself. So there was a role that I needed to check had been uploaded onto the system. So I entered my own reminder for it.
Okay.
And then we have recurrences. So we have a meet every week about our recruitment catch up with our HR business partner.
Okay, that's great. So who sets up the meetings?
So initially for internal meetings, our business partner, HR business partner, set up this meeting for us all to attend. And then for any interviews with candidates, it's normally myself, Trina or Sam that liaise with the hiring manager, the candidate or the agency to set up the meetings.
Okay. And is that so that you can recruit the right person?
Yeah, so we can check that we're getting the right person and that the right people are meeting with them. So we have quite a few different stages of interviews. So it could just be a lot of the managers choose to just do a telephone call just to gauge whether it's worth bringing the candidate all the way into the building to interview. And then we have our HR interviews, but 90% of the interviews I set up for the team.
Okay. And do you take part in any of the interviewing? Or?
I've shadowed a couple of HR interviews, but for the interviews you have to have interview training for HR, and because a lot of the roles are quite senior roles, normally it's best that either Sam or Trina attend because they're the lead recruiter for the role. They know all the ins and outs in more depth, so it's usually them or the HR business partner.
Okay, thank you. Okay. So what was you about to do today before I popped in?
So I was updating the tracker today. So just updating this across, just putting in where we found the candidates and it's all roles that we filled.
Right, okay.
And it's just a case of whether the candidate was from an agency direct, temp to perm or referral. Okay.
So is that information used for something where they come from? Do you use that for any sort of information?
We use it because, I can see if I can find the email, we do a report on recruiting that goes over to finance, and it brings up like the amount of money that we save the company by internally recruiting or direct recruiting rather than using agencies all of the time. I think on the last one, if I remember correctly, it was about £500,000 they'd saved in a month.
Wow, that's quite a lot of money. The internal recruitment process. Okay. So is that part of the systems review then?
Yeah.
Okay.
But it goes up to finance, and finance track it, and then they send back a PowerPoint for us to show what we've got, but I can't seem to find it.
So we did hire Sui Pengku, and she was here for 3 months, and then she's left.
Right, and Sam's now just opening up the PowerPoint presentation that she receives from the finance department. You said, yeah.
Yeah. It's all right.
Okay.
Oh, that's the wrong one. Sorry.
It's okay. Don't worry.
Finance report. So this is a rundown of the basic report that we send over
Okay.
to say all the candidates that are starting, and then they have information as to how much we had to pay the agency for the candidate.
Okay.
Should be an update, but I can't find it.
She isn't on the original 10637. And then there's no one on 10647, which is impending for approval anyway. Yeah.
Great. Wonderful.
So this is a tracker made by finance, and it tells us the year-to-date costs across all locations. So because we've got offices in Singapore as well and Asia, it tells them whether how much we're all saving across the board. So on here you can see we've got how much we've actually spent,
There's
how much the budget was. So
Charterhouse on there.
for front office we're under budget,
Chien, Raymond, Yin
and
Sin.
then how much we've saved as well for the company.
Yeah.
So it's all put into a nice report, and I believe it's
Yes.
shown
Mostly.
to GovCo members and like senior managers to say that because they want to push for more direct recruiting rather than using the agencies.
Okay, so it's a way of them justifying the way
Yeah.
that you work. So basically, you contribute to that part of the
Yeah.
organisation by ensuring that you're updating the database and they've got the correct information.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you can see on this report, it shows how much we've actually saved
And are they
For
both replacements or
during
additional?
2018.
Okay.
So it's quite
It's quite a
a
substantial.
good. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Okay. So what other aspects of recruitment do you get involved?
So I liaise with quite a few of the agencies. I attend agency briefings, so we'll meet with the agency, the hiring manager for the role, and normally Trina or Sam, whoever is the lead recruiter for the role, and we get given an outline of what candidate that we're looking for, and we run through the job description with the agency so that they can find the perfect candidate really.
That you're looking for?
Yeah, so
Okay.
but I do speak to, I speak to direct candidates as well on the phone, speak to one of our agencies who sent me an email this morning. But yeah, so what we've done due to GDPR, we used to receive CVs through emails, but now we've decided that it all goes through the system we have. So we have this system called People Fluent, and it's a perfect portal for everybody. So we can go in and you can see all the active roles, and it's a way for the agencies as well. They can upload the candidates straight to the system. So then
Okay.
it's on the system. We don't have CVs flying around people's inboxes that we can't monitor. And then this way we can go in and we can purge all the data that we don't need anymore. So we've just reviewed our policy, and we've decided that after 6 months, if a candidate's not successful, we're going to remove their data from our system. So we're currently on the verge of sorting some of that out. So with this feature, I can proxy in as one of the managers. So, and it shows them the amount of requisitions, the candidates for the roles, and they can go in and it gives them little tasks. So we can send them emails from the system asking them to review candidates, saying, oh, there's a new candidate on the system, can you please review?
Okay.
That way it stops us from sending over their personal details.
Yeah. So it's
Stops the
a
manager.
good security.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that's great. Increases security.
But I also, because I'm part of the recruiting team, there's a feature where I can go into users and I can actually find myself on the system, and I can select for me to have proxies to log in as other managers, so I can see exactly what they're seeing. So if they have any issues, we can proxy in as the manager and
And
talk
have
them
a look
through it
and talk them
and
through
see
it.
what they can see.
Okay, that's good. So it's another way of you supporting other members of
Yeah.
your team. Okay. Do you often get calls like that from managers, or is it?
Rarely. Most of the managers have gotten used to the system. They're aware they put their feedback in the system for the candidate, so it's a better way for us all to track it as well. So if someone's off sick, you can go into the role or the candidate and you can see it all logged on the system,
Great, excellent. Excellent.
which we did use yesterday. Sam's been ill recently, so we could see the updates on the roles because it's listed so that you can see whether the role's been filled, whether it's at offer stage, whether it's on hold. And you can see if they've got all the approvals for pay in line as well.
Okay, great. So do you, because that's quite good, so this is a bespoke system, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's basically directly for IBC Bank.
Yeah.
What about other software? Do you use Microsoft software at all?
We do. So our original tracker was on Excel spreadsheet. So this is some of the data that we need to purge for the change in our system. So we use Excel to track it. And then I've also used Excel for our operations report as well. I think that's changed. But there's a lot of, so I seek approval for the role. So when a role is raised, we have to get approval from the select managers to say that they're happy that we need this role, we need this vacancy. And they also state how much they're willing to go up for salary. So we've got a Word document here, which I've edited, which shows who I need to send it on to,
Okay.
depending on which department. And then we have a folder for, we have our O drive,
Okay.
and we have our own section where we have various different policies. So we have our job descriptions that are on Word documents, that we edit on Word documents. We have various reports for operations, for open roles, for recruitment. And so we've got our file here,
Okay.
which is full of information that needs to be deleted off the system and updated.
Okay. So do you get involved in writing any of the reports, or perhaps producing any charts, or?
So there's one report, we call it the ops report, and it's an update for the operation roles that we have open or pending. At the moment, Trina used to do it. Me and Sam have now started doing it. So I create the final document and I send it on to Sam, who basically just has a quick read through it, just to double check that everything's correct, and then it gets sent on to operations, and then they come back and they produce a report to the CEO about the information on there and how many open roles we've got, when they're recruiting for, and things like that.
Okay. Okay. Oh, I can see you've got your GDPR clean up
Yeah.
there as well. It's pretty good actually. Yeah. So at least you can see what's going on, what's been cleaned,
Yeah.
and what needs to be
And
cleaned.
we've all got, between me, Sam and Trina, we've all got our own tab of ones that we need to clean. But at the moment we're in talks with the company, with People Fluent, because when we're going in and we're purging the data, we're managing to delete all the personal information, but there's a little section that asks for feedback and it still lists the candidate's name.
Okay.
So we're trying to figure out a way around that at the moment.
To make sure that you're GDPR compliant.
Yeah.
It's good that you're quite up on that, aren't you?
Yeah,
Quite
we
aware.
all received e-learning for it,
Great.
and then we all had a meeting with the current data protection officer where he talked it through really well with everyone, just normal terms really, not anything too technical or
Okay,
involved.
so it's nice and easy for you to understand
Yeah.
and be able to implement your role. Can I be cheeky? Thanks very much, sorry. Yeah. Okay, so do you do any sort of do you create any graphs, any charts, or?
So I created one tracker that we were using. We're not currently using it anymore because we've got the new system that it's all on. Because we were going through a stage where we were having issues with arranging interviews, because some of these interviews we were getting the requests in last minute, and they were changing. So I made a chart on Excel listing the candidate's name,